have no idea why this anime caught me so off guard. With last year, with the whole reincarnate as a vending machine, and even existing another isekai titled reincarnate or a novel, like novel, reincarnated as a pair of panties. I have no idea when I read the title of this anime, it caught me so off guard. But it exists, so I have to review it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Red Ranger becomes an adventurer in another world. Yes, really. 12 episodes, action, adventure, fantasy, comedy, isekai, and a manga adaptation. And like I said, the Red Ranger from the Power Rangers got isekai to another world, became an adventurer, makes a new group of friends, and got in a whole lot of hijinks, stupid hijinks. But that's how the story goes. Now, I think let me talk first about the characters, at least the important ones. First, we have our main character that he has a name Togo Asagaki, but throughout the entire anime, mostly the people call him Red because not only is he the Red Ranger, but he has red hair, red clothes, red shoes, pretty much everything is red with him. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't particularly like the main character. He is too, how do I explain? I just don't like his personality. He is the type of person that is, if you decide to watch this anime or give it a chance, even 1 or 2 episodes, his personality is exhausting. That just being around him, I think I'm if like I went through a marathon. It's like maybe see him once in a month, or maybe hey like once a year, hey wanna catch up or something, and that's it. But being with him daily is just so exhausting, his personality, so I don't particularly like him. And the whole, and let me just say, if you're somebody that doesn't like the power of friendship, you are so going to hate this anime because the whole the Power Rangers from that world, his original world, the way they power up, and not only themselves when they fighting, but also their swords, the different gadgets that they use is through the power of bonds, making a bond with another person. So pretty much the same thing, the power of friendship, the power of bonds, the same thing. So yes, he is somebody who likes to form bonds with other people to an obnoxious degree. He's like, oh, we enemies today, comrades from tomorrow, forging an even stronger bond, and it was just too much. Throughout the 12 episodes, I'm just going to say the power of friendship. The whole power of friendship was just getting so exhausting, and there's a reason. By uh, episode I think it was 11 or 12, let me think. It was 12. By episode 12 is revealed the reason why Red, the main character, he so wants to make friends with so many people, because he lost in his backstory. He lost his parents at a very young age, and that affected him greatly. So, in order to mend the wounds of him losing his parents, he tried to create many bonds with as many people as possible in order to fill that void that his parents used to fill. So, yes, there's a reason, but that doesn't mean that I'm just going to be buddy with the main character and want to hang out with him all the time. but it's understandable why. So at least there's a backstory for the way that he is. And we have other characters. We have Hydra, who I won't say the love interest, but it's like the first companion that Red forms in the first episode, and she is a mage. Her father was the court mage for the emperor or the king, but sadly he was defeated by another wizard who wanted his position by a fair battle. And our other girl, our girl Adra wants to reclaim her position that that her father used to held as the court mage towards the king, because there's a there's a two sides of an extreme, because Idra wants to make magic to make people happy, but by doing so, her father at least. Her father had very loose regulation, but the new court mage that I don't know her name. That's not I don't have the list, but the other court mage, she's doing very restrictive regulation that towards magic, so to excessive degree. So we have both sides of an extreme, and Red helps trying to close that gap to make it so that the people can benefit from magical items, because yes, the new court mage says to the girl Idra that yes, her father with so many loose regulation, many magical items were used for nefarious purposes or endanger the life of the common people, like magical lamps that exploded many throughout the year, causing many injuries. A collar that was to tame animals were used to instead to enslave the beast folks, and so on and so on. And when she mentioned all of that, I was wow. You're right. Maybe it needs to be regulated. Yes, the whole magical items, but yes, there have to be a fine balance, because over regulating also prevents the magical items that can and safely enrich the everyday life of regular people. And yes, the whole character arc, the progression in her story, it's not over yet. There's still struggle between the two mages, the Hydra and the new court mage, so it's not resolved yet. But maybe if they ever do a season two, by then maybe they settle their differences. And we have other three characters, so I'm going to say it quickly. We have a princess that has a very long name, so I'm not going to try. I'm just going to say one of her, Liz. Well, Liz is the princess from the kingdom, and she is not just your typical pretty girl just there to be cute. No, even though she's a non-combatant, she does play a pivotal role, because she joins Red and Idra in their journey. Well, not no, sorry, no. Idra and Red join her in her journey. Sorry, I said wrong. Because the demons are trying to resurrect the demon queen, not king, queen, and they are implanting demon seeds on human bodies, and manipulating them to create negative energy so they can collect it and revive the demon queen. And like I said, she's not yet just there to be pretty non-combatant. No, she does play a pivotal role, that she can summon a giant wolf, and that wolf is the only, for now, the only thing that can humanely extract the seed out of their bodies without having to kill the host. So that's her role. But she's not there alone. She also have her loyal hero, uh, Logi, Miss Logi, who is her hero, and he is so obsessed with her to a disturbing, like a lost puppy that was rescued by her. And yes, technically it's fit because that's mostly his backstory of how he was able to meet her for the first time. He was just a lost, alone, discriminated against because he has little to no magic. But exactly the reason why he has little to no magic is the reason why he was able to wield the hero sword that is very powerful and can take on many forms to help him in battle and help him get the title of hero. So he's a very powerful ally. And we have one more character that she is fantastic because not only we have a Red Ranger, but we also have her that it does she's also a ranger, but she has a whole Egyptian theme that she transformed, and I'm not going to spoil it because I actually really like her look, the whole Egyptian theme, the whole the different transformation and gadgets that she uses. I really like her. I would like, even though I'm not going to do that type of cosplay because just looking at it, you're going to sweat buckets. But I would really like to see on YouTube or videos or photos of somebody attempting that cosplay. Now, like I said, the that's mostly the characters and a little bit of the story that I mentioned along the way. So a little, just so you know, the comedy, look, comedy is subjective. There was a lot of comedy throughout the 12 episodes. None of them made me laugh out loud. Yes, I did. It was mostly a humorous comedy that I recognize that as funny, but not enough to make me laugh out loud or mostly a little chuckle like at most. So now I know that comedy is subjective. Some of you might like it more than me, or even maybe hate it more than me and not even chuckle at all. But yes, mostly the comedy is just making fun of the whole Red Ranger thing. The whole whenever they do a pose, there's an explosion in the background. The gadgets that they use to fight, and let me see, the yes, even the poses and even some of the supporting characters, they're playing along and they're going, why am I doing this pose? It was humorous. And the other thing is that this anime is also very fan servicey ecchi. The way that I'm going to describe it is the ecchi is mostly with between Red and Idra, where they get into many ecchi situations with each other. And the way that I'm going to describe the relationship between these two is like Natsu and Lucy from Fairy Tail. That's the relation between the two remind me so strongly. Remind me strongly to these two characters. The only difference is that unlike Natsu, that's super oblivious and pretty much doesn't care about, doesn't feel any sort of sexual attraction or romance towards Lucy. In this anime, yes, Red does recognize that Idra has a rocking body, and he does feel flustered once in a while when he's talking to her or when he gets into those sticky situations. And let me think. Okay, one thing that I almost forgot is that in the very first episode, you are going to watch a 3D CGI monster, and yes, it didn't look good. but that monster only appears the only time that they use that type of CGI 3D looking model is in the first episode with that monster and that monster only. After that, the first episode, all the monster, the fighting and everything else is properly 2D animated. The only thing that is, I think, that other than that one monster, the only other thing that I think is a 3D model is the combination of the different Zoids. That, you know, the Power Ranger, everyone has a different Zoid come together to make a huge robot. That robot, I don't notice all of the time, but some of the times I do know that there is a 3D model, and some of the times I think it's a 2D model. Sometimes it's easy to tell, sometimes it's difficult because the bright colors and the camera movements. So sometimes it's hard to tell whether it's 3D or 2D. But hey, if it's hard to tell, it means that they did a good job hiding it. So that's it. So I think I'm just going to end it here and give you my score. And I'm going to give this one a score of 6. A 6 out of 10. Now, why did I give it a 6? Too much power of friendship. That's it. I know that that is part of the story, part of the character, and part of how he uses his powers, but it was just too much. Maybe tone it down a little bit for me or something, but it was just too much for me. And the main character being so friendship or wanting to make bonds with so many people, bond this, bond that, bond everything. It was also very exhausting. But hey, not everything was bad. The action was very decent. The comedy that is, it depends. Comedy is subjective. So I'm just going to leave it here. So have a good day, have a good night, wherever you're from. See you next video.